All right, today we are doing 7.4, which is on circle graphs. So you will need a calculator, you'll need something to write on and something to write with. So make sure you're ready to go. And remember that you can use your notes on quizzes and tests, so please help your future self and take good notes. So circle graphs, 7.4. So a circle graph, also sometimes called a pie chart, shows how a set of data is divided into parts. So a circle graph is best used to show how data compares parts to the whole. It shows how the data is broken up into parts. And the entire circle is 100% of the data. Each sector or slice represents one part of the entire data set. So here's an example, kinds of echinoderms, and there's this part is sea lilies and feather stars, this is sea stars, etc. Okay, the circle graph compares the number of species in each group. Echinoderms are marine animals that live on the ocean floor. It means spiny skinned. All right. So we are going to look at this circle graph to answer this question on the echinoderms. Which group of echinoderms includes the fewest number of species? So we'd be looking at the smallest slice. Well, this slice is the smallest. So the smallest or fewest number would be sea lilies and feather stars. Approximately what percent of echinoderm species are brittle stars or basket stars? So that's right here. So if the full circle is 100% and we break it up into quarters, so if I take a straight line and put it across like I'm cutting a pizza, go that way. And then if I go across the middle one more time, that would be me cutting this pizza or circle graph up into quarters. So this right here would be 25%, but obviously it's more. It's a little bit more. So this to me looks like it's about a third. And a third is about 33%. So we would say it's about 33%. Okay. Next one, which group is made up of a greater number of species, sea cucumber or sea stars? Here's sea cucumber, the red, and sea stars is purple. Well, this purple slice is larger, just by a little bit. So I would say sea stars. Okay, next type of example. I'm going to interpret and find numbers. So here I have pet survey results, and there's percents for each of these categories. And it says Leon surveyed 30 people about pet ownership. The circle graph shows his results. Use the graph to answer each question. How many people own dogs only? So some people on accident say 20%. But they're asking not what percent, but how many people. So I'm going to set up a proportion. So it's 20% over 100 on the right side. This is a percent proportion. And this side would be part over whole. We're trying to find what part owned dogs out of the whole, and the whole was 30 people that he surveyed. Then we would cross multiply, so you multiply 30 times 20 and then divide by 100 to figure out what part of the people own dogs only. So if I multiply this times this and divide by 100, I would get 6. 6 people own dogs. How many people own both cats and dogs? So cats and dogs together is, add the percents, it's 40%. So I would do 40% over 100 and we still have a total of 30 people that have been surveyed. And I would cross multiply 30 times 40 and divide by 100, and I would get 12. 12 people. So the answer is 12 people here and 6 people here. Okay, you guys try these two. Pause the video and answer these two questions. Once you're ready and you have your answer, press play. But I'm going to do it right now, so pause it so you can do it on your own. How many students do not play an instrument? There was 50 students that were asked. Okay, how many students do not play an instrument? 50%. So I would do 50% over 100. And then on this side, he surveyed 50 students, so that would be at the whole, and I would cross multiply to find the answer, and it would be 25 here. Next, it says 10 students said they play the piano. How many people play the flute? So if 10 students play the piano, and that's 20%, how many people play the flute? We could set up a proportion again, or if this is 20% and this is half of that, which is 10%, that'd be 5 students. Half of 10 is 5. Or we do a proportion, okay? It's 10% play the flute over 100, and that is 50 students total. And I would cross multiply and I would get 5 students. 5 students play a flute. Alright, last part is decide whether a bar graph or a circle graph would best display the information, and then explain your answer. Okay, the percent of U.S. population living in different states. Well, they're talking about percent or part to the whole, so that would be a circle graph. So what you would do is say circle graph and say something about it shows how parts of the whole are divided, or it talks about the percent for different states. The number of tickets sold for each night of a school play. So you're comparing over time how many tickets are sold. That would be a bar graph. A bar graph, because it makes it easy to show how the number of tickets changes over time. The comparison between the number of students in math and the total student population. Well, you're comparing parts to the total population, so that would be a circle graph. It shows what part of the students are in math. The percent of people buying a certain color of a new vehicle. Well, if you're comparing percents, that would be a circle graph. You want to know what percent likes each color, so a circle graph would be good for that. Different themes voted for a school party. Well, you could use a bar graph, but a circle graph would be better because you could put what percent of each theme was voted for. But I would say that both would work, but the textbook says circle graph, so you could compare the themes. The number of visitors to the Grand Canyon over the last 10 years. That'd be a bar graph because you're comparing the number of visitors over time, not parts and percents. That is it. All right. I will stop recording and have a good day.